Hello, everyone. Doing this special um, screening or special episode or whatever you want to call it on the Tyre Nichols incident. Seeing a lot of things. People have been asking a lot of questions, and everyone's been asking my opinion. I've been getting attacked by friends. I've been people coming to me looking for a fight because they think they know where I stand on this. And And sorry, it's been a busy day and I didn't get to this beforehand, but I want to weigh in on this topic because I see a lot of jacked up stuff going on out there right now with people commenting on this. First, I want to say that thoughts and prayers go to all involved, the Nichols family, and to the 5 police officers and whoever else gets caught up in this nastiness whose lives are forever changed, as well as all lives are going to be lost and property damage, collateral damage from this incident and what it's going to cost. Watched the videos, listened to the sound, or the audio files, and I have some thoughts, and you may or may not agree with them, and that's fine. First thing I want to say is that there's only one person who could have prevented this from happening. And that is Tyre Nichols. If Tyre Nichols had put his hands behind his back, got arrested, had his day in court, none of this would have happened. I couldn't even count how many times they told him to put his hands behind his back. He resisted throughout the entire melee. I mean, they had to have said, put your hands behind, give me your hands, or some version of give me your hands, put your hands behind your back. I believe I heard give me your hands. I don't know, 30, 40, 50, maybe more times. I also want to say on this that there's a couple caveats to what I'm about to say. I don't know what I heard. He was getting pulled over for reckless driving. You know, if it was, there's a couple ifs. If it was a good stop, okay, is one thing. I'm going to assume that it was a legal good stop until proven otherwise. And actually, let me back up. We need to let the system play out in all of these things. Hey, Christopher, we need to let the system play out and all this. Let them all have their day in court and let all the facts come out. Right? It is going to be impossible for these guys to get a fair trial, as we saw with George Floyd. But, again, let's get all the facts out in the court case. If it was a good stop, if there was no bad blood between that unit, I don't know, the Scorpion unit or whatever the heck they call it, and him from a previous incident, if there was not a delaying in the cuffing, like, if for some reason, and I have no indication to believe this, but if they were delaying their ability to cuff him to prolong the pain compliance, aka physical assault on him, when they could have cuffed him sooner, and if that was orchestrated, that would be murder. Okay. If they had conspired to do this, it would be murder. It still may be murder for one. I don't think for 5. And I think murder is a long word for it. This was a, again, remember that one person could have stopped this the whole time. And that was Tyre Nichols if he just let them handcuff him. So the next thing we need to talk about is that no arrest, no non-compliant arrest. There's only one pretty arrest in the world, and that is turn around, put your hands behind your back, you comply, click, 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 you go in the back of the car and you're gone. Every other arrest is going to look varying degrees of horrible because the officers have to inflict more pain on you than you're willing to tolerate to get you to put your hands behind your back. All right. So there's that. The next thing on this is that these cops used some piss poor tactics. All right. I don't, I've heard people say it's training, it's supervised vision, and it's hiring. All right. Well, right now, no one wants to be a cop. So hiring and, hiring process and screening process, nobody wants to be a cop. And after this, even less you're going to want to be cops, particularly depending on how many people they suck into this to try to look good and posture for the media and for everyone else. I watched them go through the physical, the levels of force. They tried commands. They tried, physically moving him. They tried pepper spray. They tried taser. They tried baton. Okay. And someone said they hit him in the head with a baton. I didn't see that. What I saw was pretty good targeting, which was in his tricep area on his arm, and what looked like they were trying to hit is out, between the knee and the hip on his thigh. All right, so every one of those cops' lives are at risk until he is in handcuffs. Okay. They don't know if he's got a gun. They haven't searched him. They don't know if he has a knife. They know that he's ran once and they have no idea what he's going to be capable of doing. All right. Now, the piss poor tactics part, they used the worst level of training you possibly can do, which is just brute force, which was, punching people in the face and, and then, the kicks in the face, I do not agree with. I do not agree unless you're fighting for your life, kicking anyone in the face. And I don't know what, we got to forget the toxicology report, the autopsy, and figure out what killed him. But it was probably those kicks, if anything. But he never, but then again, I have no idea. That's a complete hypothesis, hypothetical that it could be wrong. He never lost consciousness. If they had knocked him out and given a concussion, they would have been able to cuff him. But it was terrible cuffing. It was terrible. I didn't see any arm bars. I didn't see any wrist locks. I didn't see any of that. But I guarantee you they weren't allowed to do neck seals there. If they had done a neck seal to him, which would have been a choke out, he would have went unconscious and they would have put the cuffs on him and be alive today. I'm just saying, Chris, that the guy never went out. I watched him get kicked once solidly in the face, which again, I don't agree with. When I was a cop, I never wanted to fight anyone. I wanted to talk everyone to cuffs. I didn't want heavy-handed people coming to cuffs. I'm not some Joey go kick their butt, but I also understand I listened to those cops plead with this guy to do the right thing. I listened to those cops all sucking wind, right? They all got, secondary pepper sprayed, right? From him, them pepper spraying him. And it was freaking terrible. I'm listening to all these guys. They weren't having a good time doing what the heck they were doing. They were all struggling, calling for more backup. I had some other people talking about, oh, well, he was a skinny guy, whatever. Like, listen, dude, it is hard to get someone in handcuffs, and dudes are stronger than they look, particularly when you're winded, particularly when you're trying not to hurt them. And people are like, oh, what do you mean trying not to hurt? Like, they didn't try to break his arm. I would have rather than broken his arm. Putting his arm in an arm bar and breaking his arm might have been the best thing for him. But not all of them are jiu-jitsu guys. They're not all Jocko Willink. They're freaking cops getting paid dirt in a horrible, horrible, horrible city of Memphis, which is a hellhole. Yeah, but again, these guys might normally be cool cops, but you got to understand, man, once you're in pain, once you've been pepper sprayed, once you've been pleading with somebody and you're having to fight them to get cuffs on, cops are human and tempers flare. That's why I am never a fan of one unit cars. I'm always for 2-unit cars. So when one cop's getting hot, the cover officer can come in and tag him out. Because people push your buttons. This is a lawsuit society. This guy's family is going to be rich now. And because of that, they're trying to get cops to do stupid stuff. There's no winning. It was a horrible, ugly arrest with a lot of mistakes made. I do not think 5 cops should be charged for murder. Charge the guy, and I don't even know the charge that I would come up with, but the guy who kicked him in the face twice, unless you can articulate that he was in fear for his life, which they may be able to. The guy punching the dude in the face, I don't have a problem with that. It's not a shod foot. He's not complying. He's trying to rock him so he can freaking get his hands behind him. Again, the suspect in this case could have just complied. He would have never got pepper sprayed. He would have never got tasered. He wouldn't have a mark on him, a scratch on his clothes, nothing. Why is it we always say, we never talk about what the victim, what the suspect or possible victim in this case, could have done better. It's 50,000 things the cops should have done. Cops didn't want to be there. It's just a freaking tragedy. It's terrible. All these lives are ruined now, and the job just got harder. And everyone's posturing. I'm watching cops now, and this is something that breaks my heart to see, but I understand it's necessary. I'm watching cops coming out denouncing other cops because they don't want it. They want to get on record on social media to cover their own butt for any arrests that they did in the past or going to do in the future. They can say, see, I denounced so-and-so. It's freaking disgraceful. You got people who've never been in a fight in their life commenting on this that it looks freaking terrible. Of course it looks terrible. You got a guy who doesn't want to be arrested and other guys trying to force him to be arrested. People calling it a street fight. They showed a ton of restraint at times inside that. Here's the other thing. Once he was in cuffs, everyone left him alone. Guess why? Because he's covered in pepper spray and no one wanted to be touching him anyways. And the media is to blame for this. The media ramping up the fear of cops. The media trying, pushing narratives. Everyone's saying it was worse than Rodney King. You're out of your mind if you thought that was worse than Rodney King. trying to say it's racist. Everyone involved was black. How is that even possible? Like, how does that part even come into this? Heart breaks for everyone involved. Whatever made, Tyre fight like that, I don't know. I wish he didn't. I wish he was alive. I wish he got charged for simple reckless driving and went on with his life and had a bunch of kids and had a happy life and had a great impact in the world. I wish that. I wish these cops could have got 30 years on the job or 20 years on the job, serving and saving lives. I have no idea how many lives they've already saved, but none of that matters anymore. They're only going to be remembered for this. Being a law enforcement officer is a zero mistake profession. It is an impossible job to do. And I wish every cop would take a week off. Let the whole country burn down. And then maybe we'll start saying, guess what? You got one chance to put your hands behind your back. Comply or it's over. Instead, everyone wants to be on the YouTube freaking for fighting cops. It's cool to resist arrest. If the cops screw up, you can sue. I pray Jesus just meets everyone involved in this. And I wish all the internet freaking warriors in this would just freaking realize they have no idea what they're talking about. This clown, Lawrence Jones on Fox News, is a freaking moron. I think his qualification, I might be wrong, is he went to school for criminal justice. So they make him a freaking crime reporter. Nancy Grace absolutely embarrassed him on television, when he was trying to make some commentary on the Idaho case. The guy, I mean, come on, dude. Being a cop is awful. It's hard. You're going to have people that insult you. They film you on camera every second you step out of your car. They're trying to bait you to do stuff. They'll insult your wife, your kids, everything. And you say one word to them, and boom, you're done. So, yeah, tempers flare in arrests. No one's RoboCop. Again, it's just really sad. It's really sad. I don't know you know, they're now talking about charging more people who showed up to the scene later. Who the heck is going to want to do this job? Who's no half most of those people didn't have the view from a telephone pole above looking down. They only saw snips, whatever their point of view, in a dark, fight on a street corner where they're worried about a million other things. And yeah, you're going to hold them to that standard. I also want to say I think another screw up was how slow medical care got there. I don't know if that was confusion, but I'm willing to let the again, let's let the system go out. Maybe this thing was all bad and it's all the cops' fault. It didn't look that way to me. Maybe it was. Maybe it was something else. I have no idea. Yeah, probably, Christopher. Let's just let the system work. And At a minimum, 6 families are never going to be the same. And our media will live off it. And they'll feed it. Political parties will use it to their advantage. But again, how many, how many, black men were killed by black men on that same night all around the country that no one will care about? So, not the most eloquent. I didn't have any notes. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just want to come on here and just say I'm sorry it took me so long to comment on it. And I wish Tyre Nichols would have just given his hands like they asked 1,000 times. So I don't know if anybody watching this has any questions. I'll answer them. Again, I saw one to two bad act. I saw definitely one bad actor as a cop. Guy who kicked him in the face twice. Um, the other ones that I really don't have. I didn't see anything glaring that they did. The guy who was punching him, trying to get him down. I don't have a problem with that as much as I have a problem with the guy kicking him. Shod foot is considered a weapon. But I don't know, Chris. You got any thoughts that you want to comment on there? I just hope all the protests and the political crap stays peaceful, and shutting down the freeways is not the way to do this. You got ambulances trying to go to hospitals. You got people trying to get to work. That's not the way to deal with this. Trust me. They're going to use this to, they're going to run with this front page forever until it's done. I'm going to say what no one else will say. Imagine if they had been white cops who did this, the world would be burning down. Not that it would have mattered either way. The guy on the outside who jumped in like he hit the club. You talking about the guy who used his baton? One guy extended his baton. You can see it in video 3. And if you look from his camera, he has good camera, it looks like he made great contact, between the elbow and the shoulder, right? And then it looks like he was going to, um, between the hip and the knee, which is legit. That's a tactic. It didn't work because he still resisted. So again, batons are authorized weapon. Yeah. Batons are authorized weapon, and he hit between the shoulder. It looked like he hit between the shoulder and the elbow, right? Maybe even below the elbow and the forearm. And it looked like he landed on the upper thigh. So again, I'm looking on 33-inch monitors. I didn't go frame by frame, but I was looking because someone said they hit him in the head, and I didn't see that at all. So, all right, everyone. God bless you out there. We hope we come together and love one another. And, again, I've been a cop, in a major city. I've been a cop in a podunk county. I've been a cop in a high crime area. I've been a cop in freaking middle of nowhere. I've had union representation and I've had none in the South. And these guys in Memphis have it the worst of anyone. They're in a they're in a real tough city. I don't think they have any real union representation. They have no thin blue line there. They're going to get hung out to dry, and everyone is already throwing them under the bus. Everyone should have said the arrest looks terrible. We're going to let the system play it out. But no, they've already found them. They already basically found them guilty. I hope they do too. And but I hope anyone who's guilty goes for what they're guilty for. Right? I just think that, again, there was two willing parties in this. Those cops were there trying to do what they had to do, and the suspect in this could have stopped it at any time and said, "All right, here's my hands. Click, 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 done." Like, he's got the stop button anytime he wants, and he never did it until the end. It took what, 6 people to do that? Yeah, my 3 caveats to this are: if the original stop was good, if they have no personal history with him and this wasn't some payback, and 3, if they didn't delay cuffing so that they could do more street justice. I don't think that that's what it was, but again, those are 3 possibilities that I could. The only, don't I want to put those out because if any of those factors are in there, it completely changes the fact pattern and changes what went on. Yeah, dude, there are guys on PD that I forbid to come to my calls because they would escalate things, and I didn't want to deal with that. So my heart breaks for everyone involved. All right, go back and watch this. Hate me if you want to hate me. Say whatever, but um, you know that's my initial response to this. So God bless. Bye.